Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of It's All Well and Good with me, Abbie Nesbitt. On this lovely Sunday evening, it's 25 to 8 in the evening and I've just had a lovely weekend. I've spent a lot of time with friends recently. I got to see Pat and Gina last night. We went for tapas, which was absolutely unreal. Small plates for the win always. Me and Ed's friends, Kat and Dan, came over on Friday. Eddie and Dan have been making their own wine, so we got to taste that. We drank all 6 bottles and woke up yesterday with a very sore head each. So you can imagine how Friday night went. They paired the wine with a lovely duck dish, which was unreal. In between that, I've just been working throughout the week. And last weekend, me and Eddie, we went to a pasta making class, which was so much fun. It's called Flour Will Fly, and it's based in Liverpool. It's actually weirdly based beside the Hooters restaurant. Not going to get into that. But we were making pasta right beside Hooters. We made our own tagliatelle and it was so much fun. I've always wanted to do a pasta making class, especially that one that's based in Liverpool. So that'll be my recommendation for this episode. Do a class, whether it's pottery, painting, cooking, whatever it might be. Book yourself into a little class. We're just jumping straight into it, aren't we? Oh my god, my hip is pretty done in at the minute. So when I recorded the last episode, it's been 2 weeks since then. I've been to the physio and I've been to the GP about my hip. The physio said I've got a hip impingement or a labral tear. The doctor agreed, which was great, and the doctor gave me pain meds, so that makes it easier for me to do my physio exercises, because basically I have to build up the muscles around my hip joint so that the muscles are taking more shock, they're doing more work, and my hip joint itself is doing less work, or at least the work is not being overworked. So that means I'm out of running and sadly out of the half marathon. I think I mentally checked out of it anyway, so yeah, it's set in stone. I'm out of it, so I'll just have to pick a different time this year to do a half marathon, which is really gutting. But I think this is there's a silver lining in all of this, and that is that I go through my life really, really quickly. I was talking about this on the last episode, so I think this is my body's way of being like, Abbie, slow down. And that's not to say that I was running really fast whenever I hurt my hip, but yeah, I think I just live life on the edge of time. So I need to slow down this year. Songs that I'm listening to at the minute. For the past 2 weeks the past month I would say, I've been really getting into Fontaines DC. I really like their music. It's quite unique. It's like this punk indie rock, and I love their Dublin accents. I love a Southern Irish accent. I think it's so nice. I think I'm getting back into a little bit of an indie phase. I've been listening to Sam Fender a lot as well. I really like his track People Watching, and the one thing about Sam Fender's music is the trumpet like saxophone solo that happens like three quarters of the way in, kind of like where after the bridge moment, and quite similar to the Red Rum Club, if you've ever heard of them. I've seen Sam Fender and Red Rum Club live and they're amazing. So they're my artists recommendations, independent artist recommendations. We've got Hannah Morgan, Tonya, Isabel Metal and Mia May, young independent music artists based in Liverpool who are absolutely smashing it and bringing out their own music recently, so check them out. I'm going to leave all the links below on YouTube so you can have a wee listen to them. Big topic of this week, Donald Trump is back in the White House. Cannot believe the absolute carnage that he is going to cause. I don't really want to get into it too much because I might get really angry or really upset about it, but I feel like everybody really needs to do some research about what his plans are and have a better understanding of how dangerous this man is in power. He is absolutely bonkers, like not bonkers in a fun way, by the way. I know that a lot of people find him really entertaining, but he is just not entertaining in the slightest. He is absolutely petrifying, scares me to death. I hate him so much. But if you do have a chance, click on the BBC link that I'm going to leave below to have a read through. I think it was either the BBC or the Guardian, but have a read through a report on what he wants to do with his time in the White House. I would just like to state that I'm based in the UK at the minute, and America feels like a very long way away. It's literally an ocean away. But things like this and politicians like those sleep in bed together, and they're not. He's not really that far away from this country that I'm in at the minute and from the rest of the world, evidently. So this is quite a scary time, but I think what we all can do is educate ourselves as much as we possibly can and take a stand as much as we possibly can. Today's episode is about my New Year's resolutions, my vision board, like a little vision board whistle stop tour, and 2025 ins and outs. I don't know if you're much of a New Year's resolutions person, but I think I'm becoming one of those people who likes having a goal set out in front of them. Last year, whenever I booked myself on to do the Liverpool Women's 10K, it was so nice and so motivating to have something to work towards, to, have an end goal and end date, and that's really big sense of achievement at the end of it all, that I think it's driven me to be more goal focused. So, like, for example, when we did the Santa Dash, we booked the half marathon on that day. It's really good to have things to look forward to work towards as well. So with that, and with the fresh start of the new year, New Year's resolutions for me are really motivating, and having a vision board that can like visually represent your goals or your changes or what you want from the year is also really important. I'm quite a visual person. As you can see, I've got, like, me and Ed have put like loads of art up on the walls. We've got blankets and pillows and plants and colour. Colour is the main thing in my life. I love having colour in my home, and I think that's what we've done really well. Like, I'm just looking around and I think there's literally every colour in this room. But yeah, I'm a very visual person, so I put a lot of work into my vision board this year. Last year, not so much, and I think that's because this time last year, I was completely and utterly unemployed, so we couldn't really imagine what I could tell you what I wanted from the year. Obviously I wanted a job and other things, but I couldn't really imagine the year coming in because I was in this really unique, weird phase of my life. So I felt like it was quite hard to do the vision board. It was motivating, but I think the rest of my vision board came into play after I got a job. And because I didn't know when that was going to come along, it was kind of hard to figure out a timeline and things like that. But this time around, I thankfully have a really good job, and it means that I have access to a lot of the things that I want to do this year. So I'm really, really happy and really excited. And took so much pleasure in creating my vision board that you'll see later. I will be showing that on YouTube, but I'll give you a heads up before we get into it, so you can switch. If you're an audio listener today, you can switch from your streaming platform over to YouTube to be able to see the vision board. But before then, we're going to get into my resolutions. I want to read one book a month, and I think that's quite a reasonable amount of books to read in a year. 12 books in a year. They're healthy books, I think. Like, if they're like around 400 pages, one book a month is good. If they're potentially smaller books, like, for example, Claire Keegan's Small Things Like These was only 111 pages. I could probably read about 4 of them in a month. So yeah, it kind of just depends on like the size of the book, I guess. But I want to read at least one book a month. 2, and if it is 2, a fiction and a non-fiction. I've got loads of non-fiction books that I haven't really jumped into yet. I've got Surrounded by Idiots, which is all to do with like psychological and sociological behaviours, and they get graded different colours, so like red, green, blue and yellow. I really want to read that. Apparently it is fantastic, and it comes in a big series, like surrounded by energy vampires, surrounded by psychopaths, surrounded by narcissists, all that good stuff. So I'm really intrigued by that because I'm quite a socially observant person. Like, I never miss a social cue, and I look, because I'm so empathetic as well, I feel the emotion in the room. I read the room quite a lot, so having a book that's basically about that, I think I'll eat it. I literally think I'll eat the book. I'll read it that fast. I've got some fitness goals for this year as well. Obviously I want to do a half marathon at some point, and I said earlier that I will do that probably in the autumn, meaning that I can run and train over the summer, which I think will mentally be so much better for me because, the evenings are so much longer and the weather will be so much nicer. It'll be better temperatures. I'm not going to be dodging ice, and I'll just have a better training motivation for it all. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to aim to run a half marathon in the autumn time. It'd be like end of July, September. I'd love to do a couple of 10Ks this year as well, especially the London Landmarks 10K, where you run, guess where, you run around all of the landmarks in London. Well, it's a set route. I don't think it's every single one, but I think it's all the big ones. I wonder if you run over the London Bridge. I bought matcha today and I made myself some blueberry syrup, and I'm only after making my first hot, well, it's not even hot, it's barely even warm now, matcha latte. But I think I need to buy the little like sieve thing, the sieve and the whisk for the matcha, because I put the blueberry syrup at the bottom and then I steamed the milk in the coffee machine, and then I put the matcha in after, and either the hot water that was in the matcha was too hot for it, then when it hit the rest of the drink it just turned into lumps. Then I was worried in case the milk was on the turn, but I taste it and it doesn't taste sour, so the milk's fine, but it's just, I've got this like weird green and purple consistency along the top, kind of like slightly marshmallowy, you know, when the marshmallow melts down. So that's what's going on in my cup right now. I'm kind of looking at it with disgust, but weirdly want to drink it. Anyway, trying to get into my matcha to steer me away from the temptation of buying one when I'm out, because why is it so expensive? You go into Joe and the Juice and it costs you like $5.50 for a decent sized one, iced, and a blueberry, what do you call it? And you literally see them like pump the matcha out and pump the sauce and then just add milk to it, and that costs $5.50. So I was like, to hell with that, I'm going to buy my own matcha, make my own syrup and get on with it myself. Back to the New Year's resolutions. I want to become a stronger swimmer. I think I'm like physically quite strong, so I think physically I'm a strong swimmer, but mentally I'm not a strong swimmer. Quite panicky, and I think I've had one too many little scares when I was younger that, you know, when you get older you get more scared. I think it's one of them things. And I don't swim regularly, so I need to try and swim more regularly so that when I go on holidays and I'm like swimming out in the sea or anything like that, that I'm not that scared, and it shouldn't take me as long to get into it to what it has done in the past. I remember me and Eddie's first holiday, we went to Dubrovnik, and honestly, Ed, you have the patience of a saint. I don't know how you cope with me sometimes, but Ed basically helped me become a stronger swimmer during that holiday. We were on this beautiful, beautiful beach, and it kind of swerved around to the left and then it went out into the rest of the sea, but round to the left there was this cave, and we made it, well, Ed made it my mission that I was gonna end up swimming around there and back without stopping, and by the end of the week I could do it because he just helped me along, and he's so cute. But I want to do that myself this year. I want to get myself into swim pools. I want to be swimming once a week, and apparently it's really good for mobility issues as well. So yeah, the doctor was saying that I should start swimming and see how it goes. If it hurts, stop, but if it doesn't, keep going, to overall just become a bit stronger and take my protein intake more serious, because if I want to like gain more muscle, I need to be taking in more protein, but it's just really, really overwhelming. There's so many different types, and obviously the one type that I really like is the most expensive type, and it's the type that you can't buy in bulk. It's the clear whey isolate protein, basically tastes like juice, and it doesn't include all those like nasty milk substitutes, but you can't buy that in like 4 kilogram tubs. You can only buy it in like 1 kg tubs, and if you want to buy like 2 kg, it's going to cost you 50 quid, where you can buy 4 kilogram tubs for 30 quid in just whey protein. And then there's all these other different types of drinks that you can get, and it's just so confusing. But I think, and then I'm like, oh, if I buy a 4 kilo box, what if I hate it? What do you do then? Can you send it back? Is that a thing? Can you send, I don't know. But I need to take it more serious. I need to just buy some and get on with it. Become more crafty and do more classes. Obviously we went to the pasta class the other week. I had so much fun, but I want to do pottery. I want to sit down, I want to spin the wheel, I want to slap, like, you know there are people slap the clay down. I want to do that, and I want to make my own cup or bowl or plate or whatever. I want to do reformer Pilates. I want to try it out. I'd love Eddie to come with me. I think it'd be really fun, and I would love just to see what it's all about. Like, everybody always says, oh my god, it's so much worse than what you think, but I think I could take it. Like, I used to do yoga really regularly. I I go to the gym a lot. I think I could do reformer Pilates. I think it'd be all right. I bet you any money there's people out there being like, no, Abbie. I want to do pizza making. I want to do painting, like painting sips, either at home or out somewhere else. Like life drawings. Get good at like my sketching and drawing skills. I basically just want to do every craft. Like I've got down life drawing, flower arranging, jewellery making, all of it, crocheting, whatever. Honestly, I just want to do loads of little activities and crafty things. I just want to make stuff. I want to be like physically creating things with my hands. And I think it's really fun. And it can be a sociable thing or it can be an individual thing. But I think all of those little activities are good for your mental health, keeps you off your phone, and, you know, boosts those concentration levels as well. So I want to do more of that. Physical health in general, but we've already talked about that. Choosing the best time to call it a night. So not overstaying on a night out. Basically picking that perfect moment to go home when you're happy with your night. But you know, you can have that thought in the back of your head being like, oh, if I stay any longer it's gonna get really late, and then I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy this, blah blah blah. Basically recognizing that and being like, right, I'm going home, and not just staying just cause. Like not letting FOMO win. FOMO doesn't even exist. Actually, I'll tell you one thing. FOMO only exists because of social media. So socially, it's not a thing. Well, it doesn't only exist because of social media, but social media doesn't help. So, you know what? Just choosing the perfect time to go home when you've had enough of your night. So those are my little New Year's resolutions. If you've got any New Year's resolutions, drop me a comment below. You can also do that on Spotify as well. I'm not sure if you can do it on Apple Podcasts, but Spotify listeners and YouTube watchers, you can drop me a comment below and let me know what your New Year's resolutions are or any goals that you're working on this year. I'd love to know. The next part of this episode will be a whistle stop tour around my vision board. So we're going to get straight into that. Audio listeners, this is your chance now to jump onto YouTube and watch this. I'm going to do a quick voiceover, a little screen recording. You'll get to see what it looks like in the flesh. If you don't want to watch it, then you can kind of try and visualize what it looks like in your head, I guess. But now is your chance. So we're going to jump straight into it. Okay, everybody. So this is the overall look of my vision board. I feel like a proper little streamer. It's kind of giving me the ick, but yeah, this is the overall look. Isn't she great? I have been working quite hard on this and I love the aesthetic of it, the little background grid work as well. But we've got a kind of similar theme going on, but we're going to jump into this room first. How fun is this room? So this is all to do with me and Eddie moving flat in July. And this is kind of like an inspiration page for like decor. Our decor is kind of along this vibe, colourful, chunky, you know, posters on the wall, etc., etc. But from the design element of of the vision board, what I've done is I've put pictures over the posters that are on this picture, so you can zoom in further and see this, or you can go up here, get inspiration from this one, or you can go down here, get inspiration from this one. Love that coffee table. There's another one up here, like bathroom. Love that bathroom. This kind of tile work at the minute is really popular. I think it's really cool. I love a good monochrome tile. And yeah, this is one section of my vision board because I would like our new flat or new house to be decorated along these lines because I think it is so fun. Scrolling on down here, wait, we'll go here first because this is cool. These are nail inspiration pictures, kind of like a filler for the vision board, but I do love getting my nails done, so here's some inspiration pictures of some nails that I would like to get. Currently I have similar ones to these where the tip is leopard print and then there's like a blue line following the leopard print French tip. Absolutely love it. So tick that one. Love a good chrome moment. These are quite cute. They look like sweets. I've had this like spray ombre before. And I love a good squiggly line as well. Yeah, this spray ombre is cute. I love the blue. Blue's quite nice. I had blue nails in November. They were like a dark navy colour. Over here we've got kind of, I guess, the crafting activity part of my New Year's resolutions. As you can see, I want this to be me. I want those to be my hands. I want those to be my legs. I want to be wearing that little dress, and I want a pottery wheel in between my legs. I will do this year. I will. I have looked it up though, and it can be quite expensive, but you know what? It's worth it. I've been dreaming of it for years. We've got this book in the background. Looks kind of blurry now, but let me just zoom out. Consume less, create more. I know that's quite ironic because I was saying earlier about, or I will say later about, we need to consume more, but I think this is consuming less in a like a social media sense and creating more. I really want to get into my makeup. I used to be so into my makeup whenever I was younger, and like used to watch all of these videos and try out all the techniques, and I wouldn't have anywhere to wear the makeup to, but I think that kind of defeats the purpose of makeup. Like, makeup is art, and you know, you can create art anywhere and for no reason whatsoever. So I think I'm going to start practicing how I do my makeup to get really good at it, because I would love to do something like this. So simple, so effective. But yeah, if you see me running around with questionable makeup, just know that practice makes perfect, and trust the process, please. Pasta making, tick, done that. And overall, just like painting. Would love to do a painting sip, all that good stuff. But we've already talked about that. If I can zoom out. On down here, I would love to get some more tattoos. I love this squiggly line tattoo. Very trendy at the minute. I think it's just really, really interesting. That flower is so cute as well. Would love to get more tattoos. I'm really into ceramic tile designs as well. So I've got like a little picture of that just to keep me inspired. Might be booked in next month, might not be, who knows, wait and see. This is just a little picture of a woman's figure, kind of to represent body art, I think, because that's how I see tattoos. I don't see them as tramp stamps or whatever you want to call them. I see them as memories and art, because you only live once. You might as well get one tattoo. It's not going to kill you, unless you have a reaction, but I'm not a doctor, so I can't really say anything on that. Over here, we've got the traveling part. So me and Eddie have booked to go to New York in like Easter week. So there's a picture of the almighty Empire State Building. I was literally about to say Eiffel Tower, but the next picture is of the Eiffel Tower, because I want to go back to Paris, because me and Phoebe had such a good time the first time, that I want to go back and do basically everything again and more. The next picture is of a building in Copenhagen, because I'd love to go to Copenhagen. It's very trendy at the minute, but I do like the aesthetic of it and how it looks. I think it'd be a really interesting city to go to for a lovely long weekend. And the next picture is Athens. I want to go back to Greece. Me and Eddie's thinking about going to Athens, and you know, having like, because we went to Greece in October, but we did a sailing holiday. This time we would kind of it would just be us two milling around the place and going and seeing all of the famous monuments. And in the background, just to kind of square off this area of the vision board, is a map of Athens. Cool, isn't it? I forgot to say about this middle part. It just says 2025, allow yourself to grow. And then I'm going to read this out. Actually, this is really cute. When you plant seeds in the garden, you don't dig them up every day to see if they have sprouted yet. You simply water them and clear away the weeds. You know that the seed will grow in time. Similarly, just do your daily practice and cultivate a kind heart. Abandon impatience and instead be content creating the causes for goodness. The results will come when they're ready. Oh my God, that's lovely. I've got loads of little stickers basically outlining like the motivations, such as calm, balance, abundance, focus on the good, confidence, create. Any more? No, that's all. The next one is the fitness section. Got a picture of food, weights, reformer Pilates, swimming, high rocks, and that is that section. Oh, I'm keeping the fashion one to the near end. Over here is a little calm section with a photo of a journal and a lady doing yoga and a little tiny sticker of a drawing of a heart holding hands with a drawing of the brain, which I think is really sweet because it's like keeping your mind and your heart connected and keeping them happy. So this is the little calm section. Okay, moving on to fashion. This is something that is always ever growing and ever changing within me. I am so exhausted from changing my style so much. And I think that's mainly because I don't have so much money to kind of compensate for what I want to do with my style. So I don't really know I don't know what the aim of this section is. I think it's really to give me inspiration as to where I want to take my style. More dressy, casual looks, I think. Kitten heels, smarter shoes, shirts, layers, baggy jeans, slim skirts. But yeah, I just wish I had the money to change my style and just wear what I want to wear, but it's not always possible, is it? I feel like I'm such a clinging on to clothes kind of gal, but I just need to dump all of my clothes and literally make myself broke for a month and then just have the wardrobe that I want. But I can't do that either because I've got bills to pay. Anywho, I'm really excited to focus on my fashion for this year and see where it grows and evolves. It might not look anything like this or might look similar to this, but it's always something that I'm working on and I love working on it. As I did say, it was a whistle stop tour. I'm not getting too deep into it. It's just some inspiration for you if you'd like to create a vision board. Over here we've got the content creator section, because evidently I am a full-time content creator. I am a social media manager in my place of work and I love creating content on the side. So I'm a full-time content creator. Take what you want from that, but I really want to focus on it this year. In the background there's like this weird clip art drawn of money because I guess there is like kind of like a money motivation there and a career driven motivation as well. So yeah, I want to see some growth within my career this year, which would be absolutely amazing. Like keep striving on with that, and some development within my content creation, whether that's personal profiles or business profiles that I'm working on. But overall, I really want to focus and grow this part of my life. And there you have it. That is a little tour of my vision board. I hope you liked it. You can screenshot it if you want. You can take inspiration from it. And audio listeners, if you have listened through or skipped this, then you can still go back and rewatch it on YouTube. But yeah, I hope you have taken away something from this. I think it's really fun to visualize your year ahead, because if my year looks anything like this, I'm having a bloody good time, put it that way. Okay, moving on to the next section, which is ins and outs. So we're going to start with the outs. So that means we're going to end this episode on a high with the ins, because it's kind of like positive and negatives. First up, outs, vaping. Vaping's going to be out in March. I'm pretty sure it's getting banned, so just put them down now. So that means you're not going through cold turkey over summer, like. And that's pretty much all I've got to say on that, to be honest. Not consuming what you buy is out. That means what's in is consuming what you buy. Currently, I've made it a conscious thought of mine to use up everything. Like literally use everything. A really strong example is lip liners, specifically pencil lip liners. I know I've definitely went through about 500 of these in my lifetime, no exaggeration, only because whenever you first buy it, it is perfectly sharpened. You've got enough there to last you like a good length of time, for as much as you're in love with the product before you don't want it again. And then whenever it's your turn to sharpen the pencil, you don't do it. I do this all the time. Like I'll use the first bit of the lip liner and then I'll just not sharpen it for ages, or I can't find a sharpener, because really who has a sharpener these days? And Can't find a sharpener anywhere. So then the lip liner ends up getting tossed into a handbag or tossed on the side, not even thought about anymore because I can't use it. Then I'll go out and buy another one. Then the same thing will happen, and maybe the other lip liner will turn up, or by that stage I'll have bought like a retractable one, and then I've got this surplus of lip liners and they're all the same colour as well. So what I'm going to do is 1, buy a sharpener. 2, use up my lip liners. 3, and stretch that out into the rest of my life. Use up my makeup before buying any more. And I'm not going to put like 100 layers of makeup on and 100 layers of mascara. Do you remember when that was a trend on TikTok? I think it was like in 2020 or 2021. Yeah, like in lockdown, and people were putting 100 layers of foundation on their face. Ugh, absolutely rotten. I'm not going to be doing that to use it all up to buy more soon. Otherwise that's not a bad idea. But what I'm going to be doing is, when I'm doing my makeup, using a variety of products and not just the same ones all the time, using the ones that I haven't used in a while. Same with hair, same with skincare especially. I've got loads of really, really good skincare stuff, and I'm just using them now because saving them for like those big occasions where you need to do like an everything shower and like prep yourself for a big occasion the next day. They only come around, those big occasions. They're not like every weekend. Well, unless you're like a high lifer. I'm just going to use them every day. Just going to set myself a good morning and night routine and just use through the products, because why not? You're literally living now. You might as well use all of the products that you have now. And then that means, you can get to the end of it and decide whether you're going to buy it again or not. And that's literally what the whole point of it is anyway, is to just consume. So what's out for 2025 is not consuming your products, and what's in is using up the stuff. Using it up. Another out, Trump supporters, Trump, all of it. That's all. Next. Caffeine, or a lot of caffeine. I don't drink caffeine on an empty stomach anymore because it absolutely sends me to the moon and puts me in a state of panic for the rest of the day. So that has been like out of my regime for months now. But like a lot of caffeine, I've really cut down on caffeine lately, although it probably doesn't sound like I've cut down on caffeine because I've just noticed how fast I'm speaking in this episode. Yeah, so I've cut down a lot of caffeine. I drink not like decaf tea in work and decaf coffee because I just hate getting to 3 o'clock and you just absolutely crash. I felt a lot better for it. Like my anxiety thanks me for it, which is good. And yeah, like I like treating myself to a nice coffee, like out of a coffee shop, or like on the weekends I'll have a coffee in the morning, which is really nice. And there's obviously like caffeine and matcha as well, but I'm just really cutting down on it because it's not a necessity. I don't rely on it anymore, and it never, like, to the level that I was consuming it at, and it wasn't doing me any good. So the only way to help that was to cut back. Apple cider vinegar gummies, what even was that? And like the relation that it had towards losing weight and skinny culture, that's out in 2025. We have to fight this because like skinny culture is hidden in so many different forms of advertising at the minute, especially online on TikTok. Like those apple cider vinegar gummies were meant to relieve bloating and things like that. And if they do, amazing for you. But the way that they were advertised online was not healthy for people, for young women especially. Anything of that sort. Ozempic, full stop. Not saying any more about that. That's out too. Another one, sunbeds. The trend of embracing your natural skin colour is in at the minute. Is definitely in. I'm really holding off from putting a bit of tan on at the minute. It's January and I feel so pale and freckly. Like I'm a really freckly person, but see, when I'm pale and freckly, it almost makes me feel paler because my freckles are paler as well. And then when it's summer and I'm more tanned, my freckles go like a really dark colour. But at the minute I just feel really pale. So I've been trying to like not put on fake tan and just embrace the colour of my skin. However, that is just, it's hard because I'm also using up old makeup, and the makeup oxidizes so fast that my makeup doesn't really match my body. And yeah, anyway, that's the whole thing. But yes, it's sunbeds are out. I used to love a wee sunbed when I was like 18, 19, and see now, because I'm so freckly and stuff. Another one, all of these are quite like consuming things. Last one's pre-workout. I don't want to see anybody shotting dry pre-workout online. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody thinks you're cool. It is rotten. Why are you doing that? Why can't you just put it into water and drink it like any other person? And what even is it anyway? And how can that even be good for you? What is pre-workout? It's not. It's out. And alongside that, snus. Snus is out. Definitely in my 2025. If you don't know what snus is, it's basically those nicotine things that people put in their mouth whenever they're trying to wean themselves off smoking or vaping. I tried one a couple of weekends ago and it sent me into orbit and then sent me to the toilet and I threw it up. Horrible things. Out. So far out. Moving on to ins. This is the fun part. Printing pictures, recording through a camcorder and creating home movies and holiday movies. I made a holiday movie for me and Eddie's family when we went on our first holiday together to Italy a couple of years ago, and it was so much fun, like recording all of these little clips of where we were, our little day trips around the villa that we were staying in by the lake, and then putting it all together and creating a 10-minute long movie, adding generic cliche Italian music over the top and little like captions of like day 1, day 2, day 3. Honestly, it was so fun to do and such a nice thing to have to look back on. Like, I know that everybody, like, we all record stuff with our phones and laptops but something like that, it will just always be different, be more authentic than whipping your phone out. So more of that, please. Next up is one for the girls, one for the women, and in 2025 we are educating ourselves on our own body, on our reproductive systems, our mind and body connections, our cycles, all of that good stuff. We're jumping into this year, girls, because very little resources out there, so we got to grab them while we can to educate ourselves on our own bodies, because, you know, who else is going to do it for us? We don't get told a lot in schools, we don't get told a lot from doctors, so we need to start reading articles, reading books, listening to podcasts, and really just educating ourselves on our own bodies, because that is the best that we can do for ourselves, is to have a better understanding. I feel very strongly about this. Very, very strongly about this. I feel like I've learned a lot about my body since coming off contraception, and it's taken a long time, like 2-3 years, I think. And only now I feel completely in tune, whereas I was so disconnected when I was on contraception. But that, however, will be a topic for another day. Next up, cod liver oil. Mobility exercises, movement, and getting outside every single day. Please take this as a lesson. If you're not like exercising or stretching out your joints, please don't end up like me. Do your exercises, go to yoga, try it once, or just do some stretches before you work out and after you work out. Because Ed's mum actually told me this: whenever you're in the gym and you're like pumping iron and you're doing like bicep curls, whenever you pull that weight in towards your body, you know, like your muscles like flexing, and it's turned it into like this, if you're anything like me, this big massive ball on your arm. So it's like your muscles are shortening, so you need to make sure that you're doing opposite exercises to help stretch them out to gain better strength and mobility. Because if you keep shortening your muscles, you're making yourself more restricted, more tense, and less mobile. I've had a vision of a mesh dress in my head for ages, and I'm going to try to describe it. So it's this like long sleeve, maxi, flowy dress, not flowy that it's like blow up in the wind kind of flowy, snug to the body, but not a bodycon. Kind of like there's a little bit of like swish. Not a swish. How do I explain this? Like it kind of moves along the body, but you know, it doesn't like flow in the wind. I don't know how to explain this. Long sleeve. The sleeves aren't completely like sucked into the arm. They're kind of just like the wrist part kind of hangs down a little bit. Neckline is just like a normal t-shirt neckline, and the back, I'll give you a choice. It can either be backless, swooping down towards the lower back, or it can just be like another t-shirt line on the back. And the color of this dress is like this very, very like off-whitey, like a silvery pinky cream. Call it more cream and silver. It's sheer, by the way, so it's not completely see-through, it's sheer, and it has a light like sparkle through it, like less frequent than glitter, not as big as sequins, maybe as small as diamonds, but not as harsh as a diamond, throughout the whole dress, worn with block black or brown underwear, not like a thong, like pants, and like just a standard bra. The focus is on the dress. I think sheer dresses are in for 2025. I think we're all going to love them. I think we're all going to play around with them and try them out. I know I definitely would love to. They're seen more in higher fashion, but I think that's going to work its way down. And they can be worn with kitten heels, which are so hot at the minute. So I think sheer dresses are in for 2025. I did try and find this dress online, but the only thing that I could find was this silver chainmail Zara equivalent. But the word chainmail kind of throws me off, and the fact that it's like 70 quid as well. So I don't know. If I find the dress, I'll let you know. And with that, flowy sleeves are in. And the last in for me is body skincare. I need to start looking after the rest of my body in terms of skincare, because I am now using all of the other skincare products on my face. I need to start looking after the rest of my body. So that's kind of like a New Year's resolution as well, I suppose. So there you have it, folks. That was episode 2 of our brand new season. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I have loved chatting through all of these little things. I feel very aspirational for the year ahead, and I hope that you do too. If you've got this far, thank you so much for listening. As always, it means the world to me. And if you've enjoyed this episode, give it a little 5-star rating on whatever platform that you're listening or watching on. I will see you next week for a brand new topic. You can see more behind the scenes content on my TikTok at Abbie_Nesbitt. You can follow me on Instagram at Abbie Nesbitt. My DMs are always open for topic suggestions. Let me know what you want me to talk about. And without further ado, I will catch you next week. See ya. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. But yeah, I will see you in February.